You're listening to Cancer Convos with Brady and Stacy. Hey, welcome to Cancer Convos with Brady and Stacy, sponsored by the Bismarck Cancer Center, Chelsea Smith Cosmetics. And speaking of the Bismarck Cancer Center, we have a guest from the Bismarck Cancer Center. Is it the REACH coordinator, or what is your title, Jen?
So, yeah, I'm Jenn Matt. I'm the REACH coordinator and also social work, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I like this. I really wanted to have you on as a guest, or somebody like you, what you do, because cancer is so much more than just medical. And I really wanted to talk about some of those other things that people go through besides chemotherapy, and like just the emotions and, like you said, the human side of it. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Jennifer.
So I meet with all our patients that come to the Bismarck Cancer Center. I help with a program that's called REACH, and really that program was designed to lessen stress around our diagnosis and treatment. So focusing, the machines focus on the cancer and the body, and my role is more to focus on the mental health piece. I want to make sure that stays healthy too, because it's a big part of all of this and so important. So if there's anything, that I can do to better support people or make things even a tiny bit easier, I will.
Yeah. Do you find a lot of your patients end up with like anxiety, depression? I know both of those are very common when you get a cancer diagnosis.
For sure. And I think a lot of people deal with that anyway, outside of a diagnosis. And then oftentimes when we are diagnosed, I think maybe it exacerbates it a little bit, with anxiety and depression. There's, some down days or down moments. A lot of people I meet with are doing really well, and some that aren't doing very well.
Well, and I think even the ones that are doing really well probably go through those times too, because I know I was one of those people who was pretty positive throughout treatment and even after treatment, living with it, after day to day. But you still go through that time where you're like, I'm just tired of not feeling good. I'm tired of being tired.
Yeah.
And work is not the same, and your relationships with people are not the same. And it's just really hard.
Absolutely. There's a lot. I think maybe people don't get until maybe you're diagnosed or have a chronic illness of how important the mental health piece is and how it's such a big part of all this. So we got to take, sometimes the physical health is maybe easier to take care of. It's a mental health that's a little bit harder, or we don't have time for, or we don't deal with it, or we kind of just block it or avoid it, or, so I think it is good to know that it is a big part of this and it is very important. So be mindful of taking care of your mental health too.
Do you have some tips for people that are going through a long-term illness or cancer, or that might be struggling with their mental health?
I think the biggest thing too is just to break it down and take it sometimes, moment by moment or day by day. I think you have to look at the big picture in the plan, but also if you can kind of just live really in that moment, and break it down so it's not so overwhelming. Also reaching out for support, somebody like myself or maybe family or friends, I think too is like a big part of it too. So your support system, leaning on them, making this journey as easy as possible for yourself. I think it's a hard one sometimes. And I think if we can, do those things that can make it a little bit easier, and we do that, or let me help support, or family or friend or whatever, whoever you need in that moment, in that time.
Yeah. And how do people know when they should probably come in and talk to somebody if they're, when do you get to that point? When do you usually recommend to patients?
So for me, I meet with them probably in the first 2 weeks. I'll meet with them, and sometimes before, if I hear that, so-and-so is not doing so well, or so-and-so is really tearful today, or so-and-so's had a lot of down days, then I'll jump in probably a little bit earlier. But a lot of times, we'll kind of let them get used to the treatment and routine and schedule. And then I'll meet with them in those first 2 weeks. But I think, if you're a person that's pretty upbeat and positive, and you find yourself having a lot of down moments or down days, I think those are days for sure. You got to reach out to me. You got to reach out to family or friends, or take care of yourself, whether that look like taking a walk or reading a book or going to a lake or whatever it is. So just taking care of yourself, however you know best too.
And that's especially important even after you go through the cancer treatments, even if you're in remission or you have no evidence of disease, that's still important to do.
Absolutely. I think in all of life, we need to take care of that too.
So if people have any more questions, what's the easiest way for them to get a hold of you, Jen?
I think probably just to call the Bismarck Cancer Center would be the best way to get a hold of me, or you can email me too.
All right. And what's your email?
It's jmatt, MATT, at bismarckcancercenter.com.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It was good to visit with you, and you're a survivor too. So
I am. Knock
yeah,
on knock on my laptop.
yeah, everything, right?
Right. You just take it day by day. That's all you can really do.
Right. Well, it's good
Yeah.
to visit with you, Stacy. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
And once again, thanks so much to Jennifer Matt for joining us on Cancer Convos with Brady and Stacy. And I'm bringing Bob in now. So
Hey.
hello, Bob.
How's it going?
You know, it's going.
I was I sent a note to my primary care, my PCP,
Yeah.
primary care physician last night. Like, my energy level is just crap. Like, I don't feel like doing anything. I want to do stuff, but then I get doing things and I start coughing and I start hacking.
Right.
And I don't know if that's because of what's in my lungs or it's just me being out of shape or whatever it is. Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'd love to find out what it is because I still want to, So
You
I
would like
sent
to
a note-
engage in life and maybe
Yes,
possibly move around a little bit.
Yes.
That's
do
not a
some
lot
things.
to ask.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not like I'm 97 years old. I mean, there's probably
Right.
97-year-olds that work better than I do.
Right.
So I sent a note to my doctor last night and I was like, man, like I wrote, like, I don't have any energy, do my, some of the medications I'm on, do they cause like weight gain? Is like a side effect? Is it the radiation still? Like, what is it? Like, is there a magic pill? Like, I think in that Insidious movie where, was it Leonardo DiCaprio or something took a pill and whatever, or the Matrix, whatever. I just, boom.
Yeah.
And I could do everything. I think
One
it's
of
called
those.
Adderall, but whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that. So she writes back this morning and she says the sertraline I'm on, which is a Zoloft knockoff for my anxiety depression,
Yeah.
can cause weight gain. They're going to switch
Mhm.
it to another one. Losartan, which I'm on for high blood pressure, can also cause a cough.
Oh, so it's maybe not just the tumors. It is not the tumors.
Not the tumors.
I
and then-
live to use that line as much as I possibly can when talking about cancer.
She says we can't do much on energy unless thyroid labs are off for some reason. That's because I don't have a thyroid. And then try a B12 supplement, 2,000 micrograms daily, and see if that helps. So I'll try
Yep.
that.
That's what they told me too, is B12.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
there's my health
Well,
update, folks. HIPAA rules out the window.
Maybe. Well, you voluntarily shared the information, so you're
Correct.
good.
Yeah.
You didn't share anybody else's information, so you're fine. You're
Well,
all
the
good.
lady I was talking to last night. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, so it's just one of those things. Like, it's and I don't like to blame the cancer for all of the problems, but
I mean, did you have the problems before the cancer?
I don't know. God only knows. I was more active. Like, I would play
Yeah.
softball and do stuff and everything. But then I was just like, kind of like, and maybe it's a mental thing. Like, I don't know if it's like, oh my God, I have cancer. Like, my brain's saying, hey, slow down, man. Just chill out. But I don't
Right.
want to chill out. Like, so what part of my brain's telling me to chill out while the other part of my brain's telling me not to chill out?
Yeah.
What do I do?
It's a weird balance.
Yeah.
I go through the same thing. Like, I was very proud of myself. Last week was crazy week. Like, we had Urban Harvest. I basically worked a 12 or 14-hour day. And then I basically looked at it as, I've told people when they're like, oh my God, how do you do it? You have so much energy. I'm like, I'm borrowing energy from tomorrow to use today. So I thought Friday was going to be one of those days where I just died. Like, I couldn't get off the couch or I couldn't get out of bed. And I was going to have to put on a brave face because I had some friends coming into town. And then I felt good out of the blue. I have no idea why. I didn't do anything different. Nothing changed. I felt fine on Friday. I felt like like it was just a normal day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then Saturday too, still had friends in town. We went out and did a girls' weekend, partied it up a little bit. By
Little-
partied it up, it means I had one drink and then
Oh.
went home.
You went DMX style.
Yeah. We all lost our minds up in here.
Yeah.
Up in here.
You all gonna make
Um,
me.
But I was fine. And then on Sunday, Mike cooked and had people over to the house, and we entertained and then went to the Barbie movie. I
What a-
had 4 consecutive days of like high activity.
Oh, and how'd you feel on day 5?
Fine. But now I'm now I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Bianca
I don't know.
had basketball tournament all weekend, so I coach, so I'm up and down on the floor and walking around.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing that, I feel fine. Like my back doesn't hurt. Like it's a whole different thing. Like I'm yelling and screaming and doing stuff. But then when I get home, like, oh my God, I'm really tired. You know, it's like it's that in the moment thing.
But once again, I had a moment of thankfulness too, because on Saturday, my friend that was staying over at my house got a call from her mom, and her dad died of cancer Saturday morning while she was at my house.
It just never stops.
It doesn't.
You know? And for those that missed or may have not listened to the Becky Cancer Convos from last week, you got to check that out. I mean, that's one of my favorites. Not that not all of them are my favorites, but that's just
right.
Like it just breaks. It doesn't break my heart. It just makes me think about how she just pushes through and lives this life. And it's just like I posted on my Facebook page, like this is very proud. Like I'm proud of doing this show because there are people out there that struggle and need help and don't know where to do and where to turn. And there's help out there for you.
Well, and when she passes, it might be 20 years from now, that video of her will still be out there for people to watch, for her family to watch, which is, I think, like, it was so hard to get through that interview and not like break down.
Yeah.
It was really tough because I've known Becky when she celebrated her birthday. I've got a phlegm thing today out of the blue. When she celebrated her birthday, she wanted to have friends gather for like a luncheon, but this is back at the time when everybody was still getting COVID. This would have been like, I want to say it was like February or March or something of like 2021. So people were still, their COVID numbers were super high. So she asked, she said, hey, can we do lunch at your bar? Because we're not open until 5. So can we have some friends over, just do some charcuterie boards and have lunch at your bar? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to do that for you. And I would love to have lunch with you. So yeah. So we celebrated her birthday at my bar because it was closed and we could.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to just look back at where her journey was at that point in time.
Yeah.
And now where it's at. It's like, it's just, things change. It's such a roller coaster ride of emotions. And I remember she contacted me when she was first diagnosed, and she was like, it doesn't look good. This isn't a good cancer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can do this, you can do this. And then she beat it. It was good, and then not good, and then good, and then not good, and then good, and then not. Yeah. It's just been so it's
the same thing with the Faniches when we had them on, and Bill Eulinger's wife, Lisa, when she was on. Like, it's just that everybody has a story, and everybody that goes through it deals with it differently. And we've said this numerous times, like from the wigs to the treatments to everything. There's not one magic fix for it, which sucks, because you think there would be. Like, here's how we do this, and this is what we do. No.
Right. Well, and one thing I've learned too is I've had 2-3 friends now that were diagnosed with a very serious cancer and wanted to just talk to me about dying.
Wow.
Because nobody else wants to talk about it. And so they've thanked me and said, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm dying tomorrow. I'm not saying I'm dying right now. I'm not saying that I'm going to die in a month. But Becky did reach out to me before we taped it. And she said, hey, what are your recommendations for videotaping stuff? Because she knows that's what we do.
Yeah.
What are your recommendations for videotaping things? Because I want to leave videos for after I pass. And I gave her some good recommendations, and she goes, and follow up to that, I just want to let you know, thank you, because nobody wants to talk to me about dying.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to do it
at
some point in time. Some people just get a heads up before hand. Do you know what I mean? And then some
Yeah.
people just pass right away. They go very, very quickly. And so that's one thing too that I've noticed. And I have to admit, it made me super uncomfortable when a couple of the people wanted to talk about like death and dying and what's going to happen after and some of their final wishes. But now I kind of get it. Not that I say I'm going to die tomorrow either, but I get it. Sometimes there comes a point in time where you just want people to hear you because that's on your mind. That is, and we pretend like it's not on our minds. We pretend like it's not on our minds.
And you
I
might
have
not
somebody
even
ringing
say
in right
anything.
now.
I mean, you don't even say
Yeah.
anything back. Just listen. That's
Yeah.
all. Just be an ear.
Yeah. And that is one of the things that's on our mind during our cancer journey. I thought about it too. I had to think about like what's going to happen with my house, what's going to happen with my businesses, what's going to happen with my car, what's going to happen with Barkley, what's going to happen with legal rights to things, what's going to happen with all of that. And I had to think about that too when I was diagnosed. And so it's important, I think, if your friend that has cancer wants to talk to you about it, it doesn't mean they've given up the fight or they've given up. That's just something that's also really on their mind. Even though you don't want to hear it, it's on their mind. It's important to them to talk about it.
Yeah. And just listen to them. You know,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have all the answers, whatever. Just
Yep.
listen and say, yeah, you're here and we're here now. Let's live through now and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So
Yeah.
I know.
Kind of like those thoughts in the Barbie movie when she was feeling like she was gonna die and it was actually
Oh, I loved the Barbie movie.
yeah, I saw it. It was good stuff.
Happier topic.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved
But
it.
no.
We'll talk more about that on our other podcast, the
Yeah.
24 minutes with Brady.
24
and Stacey.
minutes with Brady and Stacey. Maybe that'll be our topic this week. So maybe you guys should
Well,
go look that up.
I have a couple topics this week. I got
Okay.
some good ones. I can't wait to throw it to you. So Cancer Convos is sponsored by Chelsea Smith Cosmetics, the Bismarck Cancer Center, Jolliffe Institute of Restorative Medicine and Aesthetics,
You did it. Yeah, you did it.
and the Give 5 to Cancer Foundation. There you go.
There we go.
I did it. They're like saying, "Oh, thank you, thank God, he finally figured out who we are." Have a great week. We do thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back again next week with some other fun stuff on Cancer Convos.